back in the day, I used to be able to hear God. And then for a long time, I wondered why I couldn't hear him. I wondered if he wasn't talking to me, or, when you find yourself in that loop of not being obedient, you want to make excuses and be like, oh, maybe this, maybe he's busy. You know exactly why you can't hear him. It's because you're distracted and you're disobedient. And so when you have so many thoughts, right, whether it's due to trauma or like childhood trauma or a past relationship, or you're an overthinker and you have anxiety, when you have so much going on in your brain and you're not being intentional about keeping up the communication with God, that's when you're not able to hear him anymore. At least for me, that was my experience. And so once I started being intentional and making sure I did my Bible studies, I made sure I was praying a lot, talking to him, including him in everything, instead of, thinking of him as an afterthought. I stopped scrolling on social media. I started creating content. I started reading books again, started coloring. Like, I took away the distractions and I drew myself closer to him so that I was able to build that bond, rebuild that bond. I was able to get that connection back, and now I can hear him clearly like I used to. And so if you're struggling to hear God, then really focus on where you're putting your attention, right? Another thing for me was what I was consuming. I was watching like certain drama videos and stuff when, I could have been watching something about getting closer to God, or could have been watching a sermon or listening to gospel. And so it's like we really need to check and monitor what we spend our time on, what we give our attention to, and really the effort that we're putting in when it comes to God.